Welcome to the Human 5.0 Project, the podcast where we cut straight to the breakthroughs that matter, the show where science meets self-optimization. I'm your host, Ultimate Biohacker 10X, and here we break down the real research, real data, and real dosing behind modern biohacking, from compounds and peptides to techniques, devices, lifestyle strategies, and performance protocols. Most people jump in and jump out before they get the gold, so we're keeping it tight and delivering the essential insights you need without the fluff. If you've taken the time to hit play, we'll make sure you walk away with valuable knowledge that can transform your approach to longevity, health optimization, and beyond.
You wake up, you check your wearable. It tells you recovery 42%, HRV down, resting heart rate up. And in your head, you're already rewriting your entire day. Skip training, cancel caffeine, blame stress, blame life. But here's the uncomfortable question. Is the number real? Or is the device hallucinating? Because if the data is noisy, your decisions are noise too. Tonight we're going to do something most people never do. We're going to look at a validation paper where researchers took the exact recovery metrics we obsess over, nocturnal resting heart rate and HRV, and compared them to an ECG reference across 536 real nights of sleep. No hype, no brand loyalty, just which devices actually track the signal when you're asleep. This is Ultimate Biohacker 10X. Welcome to the Human 5.0 Project. Tonight's episode should be very interesting. So before we get down to brass tacks, this is for educational purposes only and not medical advice. Wearables are not diagnostic tools. If you have symptoms or known heart issues, see a clinician, please. This episode is about trend tracking and accuracy, not self-diagnosis. Okay, cool. Let's lock it in. This is an open access paper in Physiological Reports from August 2025 titled Validation of Nocturnal Resting Heart Rate and Heart Rate Variability in Consumer Wearables by Michael Dial and colleagues. 13 healthy adults wore a Polar H10 chest strap ECG, which is the gold standard, plus multiple consumer devices every night in their own homes, 536 nights total. Devices tested: the Garmin Fenix 6, Oura Ring Gen 3, Oura Ring Gen 4, Polar Grid X Pro, and the Whoop 4.0. This is the closest thing we have to real-world lab conditions, so pay attention. Resting heart rate. This is your baseline pulse during deep sleep. Higher chronic RHR is linked to worse cardiovascular outcomes. Lower is linked to better fitness and recovery. Heart rate variability, or HRV, that's measured here as RMSSD. It's a window into autonomic nervous system balance and recovery capacity. Key point: HRV is fragile, and it's far easier for PPG sensors and algorithms to mess it up than a simple heart rate. So when a device is going to be wrong, HRV is usually where it breaks first. Most wearables use photoplethysmography, or PPG, green LEDs that shine into your skin. It's sensitive to movement, fit, skin tone, tattoos, circulation, and, most importantly, proprietary algorithms. Different brands sample at widely different frequencies, define nighttime differently, weight different parts of sleep, hide how they clean artifacts. That's why validation studies like this one matter. RHR is the easier metric. First, MAPE, the average size of the error expressed as a percentage of the true ECG value. Lower MAPE equals smaller mistakes, therefore better accuracy. And then there's CCC, Lin's Concordance Correlation Coefficient, and that tells how well does the device agree with the ECG overall. It looks at two things at once. Are there points tightly clustered around the line, which would be precision, and is that line sitting right on the perfect 45-degree or perfect agreement line, and that would be accuracy. CCC goes from 0 to 1. 0.95 is excellent. 0.9 to 0.95 is very good. 0.8 to 0.89 would be moderate, and less than 0.8 is poor. MAPE tells you the size of the error, and CCC tells you the quality of the agreement. You need both. A device could have a low MAPE but still be systemically biased, always a little high or low. CCC catches that. So, the results. Who were the best performers? On top, Oura Gen 3 with a CCC of 0.97 and an MAPE of 1.67%, and Oura Gen 4 with a CCC of 0.98 and an MAPE of 1.94%. In the middle, the Whoop 4.0 with a CCC of 0.91 and an MAPE of 3%, and the Polar Grid X Pro with a CCC of 0.86 and an MAPE of 2.71%. Garmin. This was completely excluded from resting heart rate analysis, not because the data was bad, but because their algorithm reports the lowest 30-minute average in a 24-hour period, without telling you which 30 minutes, and it's impossible to align the ECG reference. This would be a classic transparency problem. Actual errors were small across the board. The mean absolute error around 1 to 1.8 BPM, so resting heart rate is generally trustworthy at night on most of these devices. Now let's look at nocturnal HRV. This is where the brands separate. Clear winners, Oura Gen 4 with a CCC of 0.99 and an MAPE of 5.96%, and Oura Gen 3 with a CCC of 0.97 and an MAPE of 7.15%. Acceptable range, Whoop 4.0 with a CCC of 0.94 and an MAPE of 8.17%. Shake your ground, Garmin Fenix 6 with a CCC of 0.87 and an MAPE of 10.52%, and this crosses the study's unacceptable threshold. Polar Grid X Pro, CCC 0.82 with an MAPE of 16.32%, and this was the worst performer. The paper also did something smart. It did Z-score normalization. They turned every person's data into how many standard deviations from their own baseline. Even after removing individual differences, Oura still dominated and Polar, Garmin, still lagged. Most people treat a single night HRV number like a blood test. It's not. HRV varies widely between people. The right way to do this is compare you to you. Watch a 7 to 14 day moving average and only change plans if the trend is down for multiple days. Even the best device can be thrown off by an algorithm update. They're not measuring the same thing. Polar uses only the first 4 hours after sleep onset for some metrics. Whoop weighs toward the last slow wave sleep. Oura averages in 5 to 10 minute windows. Garmin is the least transparent, and that's why authors say continuous validation is essential as hardware and software keep changing. So pick one device and stick to it. Device hopping is how you confuse yourself. If HRV drives your training decisions, Oura is currently the most aligned with ECG at night. Whoop is acceptable for trends. Be more cautious with Garmin and Polar on HRV. Use a rolling average and red flag rule. Only adjust if the trend is down for days, not one night. Cross-check with reality. If the number says bad but you feel great, don't let the device gaslight you. This is what Human 5.0 actually means. Use tech to see patterns you couldn't see before, then act with judgment. The headline from 536 Nights of Real Sleep: RHR is generally okay across devices. HRV is where accuracy separates. If you want part 2, comment HRV and tell me what device you use, ring, band, watch, and whether your numbers actually match how you feel. Stay consistent, stay skeptical, and stay tracked. This is Ultimate Biohacker 10X, and I'm out. Thanks for listening to the Human 5.0 Project.
If you found value in today's episode, share it with someone who's ready to elevate their biology. Make sure to follow the show for weekly deep dives into peptides, protocols, devices, lifestyle strategies, and the science of high-performance longevity. Until next time, stay curious, stay optimized, and stay 10X.